This is what we do at the Common Thread Collective, doing more together than any of us can do on our own. Don't panic, keep it organic. Hi, Martin.
Hi. This is a tune called Criminal Planet, and it's sung by a national reggae singer named Messenger Selah. And if you go to Google Messenger Selah on Amazon.com or iTunes, you'll see his other songs. This one's coming up. It's called Criminal Planet.
It's a criminal planet.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. It is the layer on the top. That is always where the buck stop. And it's the labels of you and me that make commercial goods flow free. When controls are set by men, when no exploitation is forbidden, makes living on earth impossible, then that becomes criminal. Back through time it's always been so. From Julius Caesar to the Alamo, the soldier's sword defeats the farmer's hoe. From the Vatican smoke to the UFO, we hear the Romans, the Mongols, the Vikings and the Huns found it easier to send their sons murdering across the world in search of plunder. It's a criminal planet. Ooh. Pretending democracy. It's a criminal planet. Run by corporation, acting like gang families. It's a criminal planet.
That was, the horns were the Celebrity Horns, which is a group out of the Mission District.
What time era?
What time era?
Yeah, or is this current?
This is current.
Oh,
This is actually going to be on Amazon.com and iTunes next month as soon as we get the album
we got a
cover
sneak
artwork done.
preview.
You got a sneak preview right here.
Well,
I
we're
took this down
honored.
to OccupySF because I felt that the messages in the song more or less correspond to what's going down in Justin Herman Plaza and across 60 other cities around the world. The idea is basically, if you look at the reality of it, the corporations are the new warlords of the world.
Absolutely.
And this rather details it out. I just wanted to put in one plug for OccupySF that they're doing a lot of work to clarify the messages, and different people have different messages. And one of the ones that most impressed me yesterday was somebody proposing that the 28th Amendment be simply corporations are not people. And then someone else proposed that the 29th Amendment be the war tax. Whenever we go to war, we have to explicitly have a tax that people will have to pay in order to tell them how much they're paying for this war.
You know what? That's a really interesting thought, because that's the thing. It's like all of our taxes are going to all the different departments. The Defense Department, we're paying contractors like Boeing and Lockheed Martin and stuff to build us planes and bombs and Navy ships and all these things that, if it were maritime, we might say, well, we need to build up our defense and make sure nobody attacks us. But while we're at war, and obviously all this cost of government spending has gone up, that's a really interesting thought.
And we don't really know. It's hidden as to how much the cost of the war is. We were told when they got into Iraq the first time that it was going to cost $87 billion. Do you think it's cost only $87 billion?
Heck no. Not at all. Not at all. Well, that's some pretty radical stuff. And do you know about the Peace Alliance? Have you heard of the Peace Alliance?
Can you give me some details?
Sure. Yeah. No. There are different chapters of the Peace Alliance all around the country, and one of their primary objectives is to start a U.S. Department of Peace. And so every year they have an annual thing where they bake a bunch of pies and they take it to our senators' offices and say, we just want one slice of the pie. Even if you put 1% of the national budget towards a U.S. Department of Peace. And they have the whole pie chart set up to show how much goes to defense, which really is an offense at this point. It's like, well, we have the Department of Defense to defend our, and now we've got the Department of Homeland Security, which only came about after 9/11, and so many different departments have been pushed into that one cabinet department. But a U.S. Department of Peace, you should check out the Peace Alliance. They're always having events, meetings, and also online, like free call-ins, and they have a lot of speakers. They're working to push a lot of legislation through to help peace efforts in the United States.
Excellent. And that's what they're doing down at OccupySF. If any of you out there have more ideas about what the agendas should be, come down, talk to the people in the tents, or whatever those things are called, and share the ideas, because the agenda is still being worked out. They have think tanks. We have Occupy This City.
Well, that's awesome. Martin, thank you so much. And actually, can I see these lyrics here for a second? So you brought in some of the lyrics from the song Criminal Planet, right?
Yes.
And the first stanza here that says, it's the layer on the top that is always where the buck stop. And it's the labors of you and me that make commercial goods flow free. When controls are set by men, when no exploitation is forbidden, makes living on earth impossible, then it becomes criminal. So let me just spell it out for you. It's top heavy right now.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming in and for sharing. And we will send more people. We hope more people will go down to OccupySF to participate in the General Assemblies that happen every day at 6 p.m. They're now at Justin Herman Plaza at the Embarcadero at the end of Market Street by the Ferry Building. Yes, we need to end corporate personhood probably first, because that's our latest criminal action on the part of the Supreme Court to allow that little gem of disaster to go through in January of 2010. Check that out, people. Don't be uninformed, and don't tune out. Tune in, speak up, step forward, say what you got to say, and learn about it. That's what they're talking about. And if I'm not mistaken, I think we might have Diamond Dave on the phone, who may or may not be standing next to Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah, he's